President Trump, you are an incredible man. Whatever this is, we have your back. Deception!
Buff, maybe we should stop this.
No, I want to hear what it has to say.
It is going to completely change your life, though.
What are you talking about?
South Park just destroyed the US government, delivering one of the most brutal episodes the show has ever released. The humor cuts deep, exposing power, failure, and hypocrisy in a way that feels uncomfortably real. By the end, the laughter dies, leaving behind a heavy silence that hits harder than any speech or headline ever could.
Mr. President, your ideas for the tech industry are so innovative, and you definitely do not have a small.
What makes this episode unsettling is how it acts like a joke and then refuses to let you relax. It starts light, almost goofy, the way South Park always does. You expect punchlines, you expect chaos, you can laugh off, but within seconds that comfort is gone. The humor turns sharp.
I thought we were knocking the East Wing down to make room for the nursery.
What?
The nursery?
The timing feels wrong. People laugh, then stop halfway because they realize the joke isn't the government. It's them forever believing it worked. This episode doesn't warm you up, it ambushes you. It stares straight at the audience and dares them to keep laughing while the truth lands. This isn't a parody, it's an animated indictment. South Park doesn't exaggerate politics here. It puts the entire system on trial and lets it hang itself.
Mr. President, you have so many great ideas. Your leadership is truly beyond anything we have ever had in this country.
The first image says everything without a single word. Washington, D.C. is literally sinking. The Capitol isn't attacked by enemies or aliens. It's drowning in sludge made of shredded money, broken promises, and classified papers nobody was ever meant to read. That detail matters. This isn't chaos from outside. It's rot from within.
We are honored to be—
Pam, sorry. You got a little shit on your nose there.
Oh, do I?
Politicians stand above it, smiling for cameras, waving confidently, arguing about responsibility while the ground disappears beneath them. And that's the brutal honesty of it. South Park doesn't show villains twirling mustaches. It shows leaders doing what they always do, talking while things collapse. No news segment has ever captured that reality this cleanly. One visual does what years of press conferences failed to do.
The president is a great man, and he does not deserve to be tormented like this.
Ah, where did Pam Bondi go?
What?
Pam Bondi, she's gone.
But she was sitting right here.
Pam?
Pam!
Where's Pam Bondi?
I'm right here, sir.
Look, it's back.
What's back?
You've got some shit on your nose again.
Oh my God!
Then comes the solution, or what the government calls a solution. A brand new emergency agency with a name so long it sounds important just by existing. It gets unlimited funding instantly. No vote, no plan, no clear mission, just money, lots of it. And here's the cruel joke, the agency doesn't fix problems, it responds to questions. Every time the public asks what's happening, the agency holds a press conference.
Hey, relax, guy.
We don't know who yet, sir, but Pam Bondi has been looking into it.
We won't let any harm come to the baby of the greatest president that ever lived.
Every press conference creates another department. Each department hires consultants. Each consultant recommends a task force. The system feeds on itself. The episode doesn't show bureaucracy as slow. It shows it as alive, growing, multiplying, consuming resources while producing nothing. That's why it feels so real. In the real world, the US federal budget crossed $6 trillion, and yet Americans still wait months for basic answers. South Park just compresses that failure into minutes.
What do you mean, dude? We're trying to change things. By selling cryptocurrency? What's wrong with trying to make a little money while also pointing out the things wrong with our town? Yeah, what's wrong with that? I have to do something, Kyle. I'm 9 years old and I live in a retirement home. And you really think crypto is your way out? Do you even know anything about how that stuff works?
What hits harder is how talking replaces doing completely. Politicians stand at podiums every single day repeating phrases that sound responsible but mean absolutely nothing. Ongoing discussions, frameworks, next steps. South Park drags these words through the mud because that's where they belong. Visibility becomes the goal, not results.
Wanna go? This place is gross.
Would you like me to apply the baby oil to save the water, boss?
Being seen responding matters more than actually responding, and the public plays along. People clap for announcements. They praise effort instead of outcomes. That's not exaggeration, that's conditioning. We're trained to confuse movement with progress. The episode understands this perfectly and refuses to soften the blow.
I'm gonna just take a little break here.
Hey, come on! Relax, guy! 2029! Let's go! Tax the rich. Tax the churches. Equal rights for all.
Then comes Cartman, and this is where the satire turns dark. He doesn't scheme his way into power. He doesn't overthrow anyone. He reads the fine print. That's it. He finds a loophole that lets anyone declare a national crisis. And Cartman does what the system rewards. He files crises for everything. Homework, cafeteria food, online insults. Each crisis unlocks emergency fundings. Millions, then billions. No oversight, no accountability. The government applauds him, not because he helps anyone, but because money is moving. Budgets are being utilized. On paper, that looks like success. In reality, it's theft with better branding.
No, Brandon.
What you mean, no?
Shitty ankles.
This part lands because it mirrors reality too closely. In real life, emergency powers have justified trillions in spending with minimal transparency. Once the word crisis is used, rules disappear. South Park doesn't say corruption breaks the system. It says something far more disturbing. Corruption understands the system better than honest people ever will. Cartman thrives not because he's evil, but because he's efficient at exploiting what already exists.
The first episode came out where they did the teeny tiny bit before Paramount's attempt to do a corporate merger had closed.
And that's the through line of the episode. Nobody here is shocked by the failure. They're comfortable inside it. The government isn't shown as incompetent children.
Doing what he does best, saying, hey, it's just fake.
It's shown as a machine that does exactly what it's designed to do: absorb blame, burn money, and survive untouched. The laughter keeps catching in your throat because you recognize the patterns, you've heard the phrases, you've seen the headlines, you've waited for answers that never came.
Apparently a security camera in the Lincoln bedroom has caught President Trump having relations with Vice President Vance.
By the time the episode moves forward, something changes. The jokes still exist, but they're colder, heavier. South Park stops trying to entertain and starts daring the audience to admit something uncomfortable. This isn't absurd because it's unrealistic. It's absurd because it's too familiar.
Then, of course, Trump settles all the Fox News woes by doing what he does best.
And that's why this episode doesn't feel like comedy that will age out in a year. It feels like a receipt, one that proves the joke was never exaggerated. It was just simplified enough to finally see clearly.
Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist. Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist.
Randy Marsh is where this episode really twists the knife, because Randy does everything he's told. He's not protesting. He's not gaming the system. He's not yelling on social media. He's being the model citizen everyone claims they want. He fills out the forms, he downloads the apps, he waits on hold, he follows instructions exactly as written, and that's why watching him hurts.
Okay, so first, what is the Antichrist? The Antichrist is a newer, more human form of Satan that will soon walk the earth. We don't know how soon it will walk the earth, but it could be within the next 6 to 7 weeks.
Every form leads to another form. Every app crashes right after asking for personal information. Every hotline sends him back to the same robotic voice that thanks him for his patience while stealing minutes of his life. Randy doesn't lose because he breaks rules. He loses because the system is designed to grind people like him down quietly.
The Antichrist is going to come in the form of someone or something that prevents technology and from flourishing.
What South Park does brilliantly here is turn bureaucracy into psychological torture. Randy doesn't get beaten, he doesn't get arrested, he just gets worn out. Each attempt drains him a little more. His posture slumps, his voice gets softer, his confidence disappears. By the end, he looks years older, not because time passed, but because hope did. That's the joke that lands hardest. This is what the system does best. It doesn't scream at you. It exhausts you until you stop asking. And that's why viewers don't see themselves in the politicians. They see themselves in Randy, staring at a screen, wondering how following every rule still led to failure. And Randy isn't alone. The entire town fades into the background as the episode moves on, and that's intentional. The citizens become noise. They're told to stay calm. They're told help is coming. They're told to check the portal for updates. Every problem gets redirected into a waiting room, an email queue, a login page that doesn't recognize passwords. Outrage doesn't disappear. It gets processed, filtered, delayed, neutralized. South Park nails this feeling because it's universal. People aren't ignored loudly. They're ignored politely.
They're like talking, just asking, is he actually doing it? Is he? And they're all like super jazzed jazzed about it too.
With confirmation numbers, this is where the episode quietly shifts from satire into something darker. Democracy isn't portrayed as broken, it's portrayed as a customer service nightmare. Endless menus, press 1 for hope, press 2 for disappointment, stay on the line. Your call is very important to us. The illusion of participation is everywhere. You can submit feedback, you can attend briefings, you can watch announcements, but none of it gives you power, none of it changes outcomes. And that's the brutal truth the episode refuses to soften. People aren't silenced, they're tired. They don't stop caring because they don't care. They stop because caring costs too much energy.
It's all story too.
It's fake?
Yeah, that's all story too. That's all fake.
Then the episode ends, and something strange happens. The jokes stop completely. No music, no sarcasm, no clever timing. The screen goes quiet. South Park is destroyed in the background, barely acknowledged, like it's just another inconvenient detail. Officials stand tall, calm, professional, and congratulate themselves on a successful response. That phrase hangs in the air like smoke. Successful for whom? Not for the town, not for the people, but the system survived. And in this episode, that's the only metric that matters.
You want to know what time I woke up this morning?
What time?
Around 6-7.
6-7.
Ladies, did you guys do your homework last night? I tried to, but I got stuck on problem 6 and 7. 6-7.
The silence is what makes it chilling. South Park understands that laughter is comforting. Silence forces reflection. Without jokes to hide behind, the audience is left alone with what they just watched. The destruction isn't dramatic. It's administrative, clean, efficient, and completely detached from human consequence. That quiet moment says more than any punchline ever could. Then the banner appears. Mission accomplished. It's simple, familiar, and deeply unsettling. South Park doesn't explain it. It doesn't underline it. It doesn't scream the reference. It doesn't have to. The words speak for themselves. This is how failure gets branded as success. This is how collapse gets reframed as closure. Governments don't admit defeat. They declare completion. They move on. The episode leaves that banner on screen just long enough to burn into your memory.
It's fake?
Yeah, that's all story too. That's all fake.
Of course it was fake! How could we have doubted it?
That's why this moment sticks. Long after the episode ends, that phrase lingers, not because it's clever, but because it's real. It's been said before, it's been celebrated before, and each time the damage was quietly pushed out of frame. And that's ultimately why this episode hits harder than any political speech. South Park says things journalists can't say and politicians won't say. Not because it's braver, but because it's honest in a way seriousness often isn't. Comedy here isn't a distraction, it's a weapon. Outrage comedy works because it bypasses defenses. You laugh and then you realize what you agreed with while laughing. This episode forces that uncomfortable moment where humor turns inward. You laugh, then pause, then question why you laughed at all. That's the real impact. South Park didn't destroy the government in this episode. It didn't need to. It held up a mirror and refused to look away. And once you see what's in that reflection, it's very hard to unsee it.